Hi, I'm Bill Poucher, ACM Fellow, Baylor University Professor of Computer Science, and ACM ICPC Executive Director. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to speak to you today on a topic that is close to my heart: how do we increase performance of university students in computing? Today's universities are very much focused on meeting expectations from a wide variety of consumers and investors. Students, parents, government, industry, business, regents, alumni, sports fans, all have expectations. Universities are master of subject, lecture, curriculum, accreditation, and self-governance. We guard and expand knowledge for our communities and empower future generations to be able to do the same. We educate the emerging generation. I'd love to provide guidance for coping with the myriad of expectations, often contradictory, and the morass of standards, metrics, assessment, and rankings that seek to improve performance and marketing. I can only say, c'est la vie. After all, I am only a computer scientist. I am delighted, however, to share my thoughts about students, universities, community, and my observations of students, having been a student and a faculty member for over 50 years. I subscribe to these truths. Universities are best when students are engaged. Communities are best when generations build on accomplishment. So I believe we need to build programs that engage students, improve their performance, embrace the community, and strengthen problem-solving skills. To build or strengthen a program, you need to know the constituents. For the ICPC, we need to know the students, the coaches, the faculty, universities, communities, and their leaders, information technology industry, because we seek to deliver benefits for them all as we uplift the next generation of students of computing. Let's first focus our attention on people. In the ICPC culture, first among them are our students. Today's students are quite different from those of the 50s and the 60s that were of my generation. We were recovering from world wars. We lived under the threat of nuclear war. We had the draft. There was the Cold War, often hot. There was limited social assistance. Where I lived, there was a guarantee of the opportunity to finish high school. There was a lot of radio. TV had 3 channels if you lived in the city. But a 3-minute phone call to your grandmother in a neighboring state in the USA cost 3 hours labor at minimum wage. The consequences of birth and the resources of the community played a huge role in their prospects. Children assumed they needed to live independently by age 18, and college, if they could qualify, was available if they could pay the bills. And that was the norm for a prosperous community in the USA. The variation of opportunity across the world was enormous. Today, many, many more have opportunity, but the span of opportunity is even greater. We're the grandparents of today's generation. We've seen and built an extraordinary world for our children. Our children are building an extraordinary world for their children. And they expect their 1 or 2 children to succeed at a level that exceeds their own and of their grandparents. Universities are the institutions that help today's students and parents achieve their dreams. I'd like you to think of all the challenges that are being faced by the many sectors of life on this planet. So many of this generation of parents and students are disappointed. This is a generation in which every child is above average. And every obstacle can be surmounted with enough pressure. So where do we stand? We're the universities of the world, and we can make a difference. Never has it been more important that we build a culture that loves problem solving. Never has the world needed such a culture more. And we're only in the second half of the first century of the information age. I'd like to turn to building on the accomplishments of others. So how do we build problem solvers in the computing sciences and engineering? After all, when our problem solvers solve a problem, they create a tool that enables all kinds of new opportunity for other problem solvers. Within the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest global community, we've been working on this problem for 4 decades. Our approach is simple. We have 5 goals. We want the most students from the most universities from all regions of the world to compete with equitable access to the World Finals, and we support the volunteer base. We locally empower. We tap the energy of successful programs in both the academic and sports communities. Our focus is on building performance, and we want to see performance built at the individual and team levels. We seek to enhance university, industry, and community life by building a culture that loves a problem solved and looks forward to solving problems for others. Now, computer science is most certainly mathematics, analysis, and design. However, computer science is more than that because computer science is a performance art. First and foremost, our graduates need to be problem solvers. Again, they build the tools for problem solvers trained in all disciplines. By developing their programming skills to the level of an art, our students are even more motivated to master the mathematics, analysis, and design, and to explore the broader areas of human knowledge. Students are very influenced by their peers, so if you actually increase the performance of a few, it often motivates the others. So how do we build performance? We look to the other performance arts for guidance. Sports and music immediately come to mind. There is much we can learn from them. Here are a few ideas for your consideration. What can we learn from sports? Well, embrace problem solving as a team performance sport with programming as the principal art. Address the needs of sports programming within the curriculum. Do so in such a way as to tap into the energy that students invest in recreation. They'll be motivated to make a substantive investment in the basics, because if they do that, they'll do better in the sport, and they do love to perform. After all, they're all better than average. And there's nothing like a little performance and a good day to make you feel better about the investment that you're making, and to know that you can get better as well. Focus on building programming prowess. Make sure that the students have practice heats. Make sure that they perform in an environment where all are accepted as athletes, and that individual and team accomplishment is awarded. Encourage them to coach each other. The strategy of choosing the survivors of rigorous testing builds survivors, not competitors. We want a spirit of championing the art, not vanquishing the rest of the class. Let's look at the language of sports. View sports programming as having student athletes, buddies, coaches, lessons, workouts, practice, heats, games, and performance review. Again, the focus is on development, and in our case, developing problem-solving athletes and raising the bar of excellence for our students and for the professional community. We can learn a lot from musicians and from music. Embrace problem solving through programming as a rigorous performing art. A better word for programming is process composition. A program is written to be performed. Music is written to be performed. A music composer orchestrates for instruments and sections. A composer-level programmer orchestrates for objects and processes that, if not present, they must also invent. Students of computing need algorithms and architecture as much as a music composition major needs theory and orchestration. So all of this works hand in hand with what we know how to do well in the traditional university environments. It's just a matter of building that extracurricular experience and adding the support that we need within the curriculum so that students can do well and be motivated to do even better in sports programming. The language of music is equally valuable to that of sports. Lessons, practice, solos, ensembles, rehearsal, dress rehearsal, performance, reading, writing, orchestration, and composition all are essential for building the music for the community and to build the musicians who perform it and the composers who write it. All of these have analogs in the computing arts. As in art, building performance gets done in the practice room, in the rehearsal hall, and on stage. They go beyond lecture and test assessment, and so should our students. Now, I prefer for you to draw your own conclusions about my remarks. I haven't given you much science to back up my statements. But I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest today has expanded 15% per year for 20 years. We service 2,600 universities. We are 2,600 universities on 6 continents, and over 38,000 students competed this past year at the regional level. Basically, we are an extension of the global family of institutions of higher learning. For students who are attracted to compete in the ACM ICPC, we seek to strengthen their performance and give a larger social meaning to their performance, to rehearsal, to practice, and coaching that builds their problem-solving prowess. And then when they get to the competition, we like to remind them to be good citizens, to be proud of their community, to build on strength and accomplishment, and make the world a better place. We say that because, by and large, that's exactly what they would like to do, and they do like to hear it. As to any advice that I might offer, let me borrow from our colleagues in music and the other performing arts. How to build a program that works may be challenging, but for the individual, it's pretty simple. All you need is to follow this program. Repeat for a lifetime. Study. Practice. Rehearse. Do dress rehearsals. Go in there and perform your heart out. Thanks for this opportunity for me to speak to you, all of my friends in Morocco, to all of the leaders at the universities who are assembled here. And let me tell you that my life has been blessed because of what you do and what you have made possible. After all, I know full well we're an add-on. And I hope that what we're doing is bringing blessings to your life and enhancing your university's ability to build a new generation of problem solvers who want to build on the accomplishments of our communities. Thank you. Bye-bye.